Hey everyone, it's Amy Astro here and welcome back to my channel. This week I've got a new video for you where we're going to continue working on the RASA. Yes, I am still working on the RASA, but I am taking it really slow just so I can show you guys every step of the way. Well, last week I was trucking along pretty good and I thought I was going to see first light. But like any project you plan out, it's the little details that will bite you in the butt every time. So let me show you what just bit me. Well, last week I decided I was going to rethink how I attached my guide scope and what I was going to change and all that. And I started out purchasing a new dovetail clamp that will mount on the back. And it's great. It's a Stellar View dovetail clamp. It was the one I was able to find in stock. I couldn't find any Celestron ones, but this will fit. Problem is I need screws long enough to fit it with. So when I thought I was moving forward, making a new video for you guys, it turns out one little thing, a screw. A screw stopped me from moving forward with my project. And it's not just any old screw. It's a, what do you want to call it? It was not metric. It was an 8/32 by 7/8 of an inch. And this little bugger held me up for a week. But Amazon to the rescue. I've got my screws. I am going to get this dovetail clamp mounted on my telescope so we can get guiding. So back in the beginning of this project, we were talking about guide scopes and stuff. And what I had planned on using was this Altair Astro. It's a 60mm telescope with one of their cameras. And I was going to mount it on with these rings on the Farpoint Astro clamps, and I was going to clamp it onto the top rail of the telescope. And this is great. It will work. It absolutely is a terrific package. But you know what it is? It's heavy. How heavy? Well, let me show you. Okay, so I have my kitchen scale here, and it's zeroed out. And let's put this guide scope on it, and how much does it weigh? 3 pounds, 1.2 ounce. That's kind of a hefty little baby there. And then what I had was a friend told me, but you know what's just as good as that Altair setup? And it's smaller, is this little QHY 30mm guide scope. I mean, look at how cute it is. And what was kind of neat about this one was it's the same concept as a camera lens. I loosen up this top knob and then I focus it by twisting the end barrel and then I tighten down the screw. Where some of the others, you have to do all of that on the back side. And I'll have to admit, this side is a little bit more intuitive for me coming from the photography world. And the lens cap is threaded on. That's nice. And what I've got on the back here, it looks like a little film canister, old school film canister. Screw it off here. Whoops. I got carried away. Everything twists with these things, so what I have to do, here we go. When you get carried away, you actually take the top off of it. You can see how tiny that little sensor is. There you go. You see how tiny that little sensor is? But this is how it came. It came with this little end on it. All right, so it came with this little end on it. But this is the QHY CCD. It's a QHY 5L-II-M. And this is one of their smaller cameras, a really, really small chip and all that. And it's lightweight. So all I had to do is purchase this separately from the guide camera. And I picked these up from let's see, where did I buy? I got these from High Point Scientific. That's where I ordered these from. And I ordered these on a recommendation from a friend who uses this, who also has a RASA 8. So they love it. I'm sure I'll love it. And I can already tell you, lifting this up and down, pretty sure my back is going to love it. But let's compare the weight. All right, so let's go ahead and weigh the QHY mini scope. And it comes out to 10.2 ounces. So that is a big difference from the Altair scope setup. So my back is definitely going to appreciate this. All right, so now that you can see, I basically chose this off of weight. This has a larger field of view than the 60 millimeter. It's a whole lot lighter, and based on what I'm hearing online is it works just as good. It says it's going to give me 130 millimeters at f4.3, and all I have to do is slide it into this dovetail holder here. It's rock solid, and I'm going to tighten down the 2 screws. And that's it. And when I'm ready to focus, I'll loosen up this screw and I'll treat it like a camera lens until I accomplish focus. And I'm going to attach this with the USB 2 cable to my Do controller when I'm ready to get going. And all I need to do now is to download the drivers for this camera, plug it in, and take the dark frame so I'm ready to go in PHD2. Oh, fudge. Okay, so you guys want to follow me over to the computer? Let's see what the next step is. All right, guys, so stay tuned for the end of this video to check out this week's Astro Pets. All right, so let's continue on the computer side. Let's go ahead and download the drivers that we need to get the QHY camera up and running. So you'll see over here, I am on my BMAX Astro computer, which is mounted on top of my telescope, and I've come to the QHYCCD.com website. And I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, and you're going to see a set of menus pop up. We're going to go to Download. Now, in their download page, we're going to find a whole bunch of things that you can download, but what I need is the all-in-one pack, which includes the system drivers, the ASCOM drivers, the EasyCap, everything I need to get this camera up and running. And I am going to stick with the stable version, which came out in 2021, so it must be pretty solid. And it takes care of the camera that I currently have, which is the QHY5. Let's see, I think I've got the 3 series, the 2 series, which is back here. So let's just go ahead and download it onto our computer. Now, if for any reason you find you are not able to download this software using Google Chrome, I have found a workaround, and that is using Microsoft Edge as your Internet Explorer program. Something about it, security is not as good as Google Chrome is, go figure, and it won't let you get this file. I've had this problem with several manufacturers, so I always have that workaround in my back pocket if I need it. And let's see, we'll come back as soon as it's finished downloading. It looks like it's creeping up in time, 6 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, so while that driver is downloading for me, let me show you what I've got here. And I lied before when I told you about $150. It was $150 for the camera itself. And I chose the planetary monochrome camera. It's small, and it'll work really good for guiding. And it has a really small pixel size of 3.75 microns. And let's see, if we scroll down on their site, they have some instructions here. It's kind of long and drawn out, a little bit dry, and it's from 2019. So you'll find that if you follow it, the screens don't look exactly the same. So you might want to hang out with me in 2022 and get your information there. But here's all of your standard details. And typically what I do when I get new equipment is I will copy all of this information over to OneNote so I have it later when I need it for just quick info. Something really handy that I have found. And let's see, the guide scope that I got was this one here on High Points. It was $129. So you can see, whenever I tell you a price, maybe you need to double it, because clearly my memory fails me when it comes to the cost of Astro gear. Alright, the program has finished downloading, and I'm going to come over here to my downloads folder, and there it is. And the nice thing about this particular version, back in 2019 you had to download 4 files. In 2022 it's all in one. So I'm going to double click it and let it run. Now let's go ahead and agree. And before continuing, please do the following first. Close all camera, connection applicant, and disconnect any QHY cable. Device cable. Okay, so let me disconnect my camera. Okay, the camera has been disconnected. Let's go next. Notice third party, yada yadas. We all say next, admit it, we never read it. And I will agree with this folder. Next. And I want it to create a start menu folder. Just makes life a little bit easier. Next. Select which tasks you would like it to perform. Oh my gosh. Let's see, third party. Do not check unless you have the software installed. Well, I need my ASCOM driver for 6.5, which is what I have installed. I want the drivers for the device, and I will go ahead and install EasyCap for just in case. This is their software that runs their program. Okay, let's just start with those and see what happens. And install. Okay, this will install the driver. Please disconnect the USB for the camera. I've already done that. Next. Let's agree. And oh, do I need all of these camera drivers? No, because I don't have all of them. So let me just save some space on my hard drive and only download what I need, which is the 5.2. And I don't need the 5.3. Let me double check my camera. All right, I definitely have the 5.2 camera. Let's go next and install. And I will trust it and finish. And let's see, welcome to ASCOM platform. Driver setup wizard, yes please. I will accept the agreement, next, and I will install. And let's finish. And next. And now we're going to install the EasyCap software. We'll go to next and next, install. So pretty much I'm agreeing with everything and hoping it's right. Finish. And do I want to open these things? Show all ASCOM. Now click finish to exit setup. Okay. I will just finish because I don't want it to open up extra files. Alright, so if everything went well, let me close these programs. I should be able to go to PHD2. Let me plug my camera back in. And have you all noticed anytime you want to do anything, you always have an update to do? And let's see, it's May and I have been putting this update off for a while. I'm gonna cancel the update and let's move on with the video. So let's come down here to connecting equipment. I am going to create myself a brand new profile, and I'm going to do that new using the wizard. But let me go ahead and plug in my mount while I'm at this so we can get it all done in one-stop shop. Alright, so the camera's plugged in, the mount is plugged in. Let's go ahead and start a new profile using the wizard. Okay, now it is going to ask me for some questions here. The guide camera, it wants me to pick them out of this list. And let's see, I've got all these new ones in my list here. QHY, capture ASCOM, guider ASCOM, and a second capture. Now these two captures are if you're using a QHY camera to do your imaging with. Now we're going to use it as a guider, so I'm going to choose the guider ASCOM. And it asks if my camera is already connected, because if it is, it could save me a lot of typing. So yes, it is connected. PHD could not connect to the camera, so you may want to deal with that later. Nuts. Why could it not connect? Well, maybe I should have checked first here. I'm going to go over to the device manager. And let's see if it actually sees any cameras. I want to go to, usually says Astro imaging equipment. All right, it sees my camera. So if it can see my camera, then why can't it connect to my camera? Okay, let's see if we can work this out together. Why? Let's just try regular QHY. See if it finds it then. Hey, well, you know what? Make a fool out of me, it's a-okay. The QHY camera, it connected. It found out that we had a 3.75 pixel here, and a cat just jumped on my desk. All right, cat, move. I can't see through your butt. All right, for those that are curious, this is Pester, and he lives up to his name 110%, don't you, buddy? Okay, I stick with the binning level of 1. Now it wants to know the guide scope focal length. And if you remember over here in OneNote, I copied my spec details, and it says the mini guide scope spec, the focal length is 130 millimeters. So let's type in 130 millimeters. So it comes up with a pixel scale of 5.95 inch pixels. And let's say next. Now it's going to ask me about my mount, and I am going to use the EQ Mod ASCOM mount because I'm using my Skywatcher mount still. It wants to know, is it connected? Well, yes, it's plugged in. Power is on it, so I will say yes. And let's see, I'm not going to worry about that. And let's say next. Now it says, please make sure EQ Mod ASCOM settings are configured. Yes, they've been configured, no problem. And let's proceed. All right, the cat's on my keyboard. So I'm holding the keyboard up. Let's proceed. Now this AO, this adaptive optics, I don't know what that is. I really don't. I've never used it, so I leave it as none. Okay. Enter the name of your profile name. Well, give it a name that's descriptive that you are going to know. I am going to call this my QHY Mini. Okay, and we need to build a dark library, and it's going to automatically do that for me. So let's say finish. There we go. My mount is connected. Now it's coming over here saying, are you ready to make your dark library? Well, the first thing I need to do is make sure that the cap is on the mini guide scope. Okay, the cap is on. It is going to take a minimum exposure time of 1 second, which is more than enough. We don't want to guide on shorter exposures. And a max up to 6 seconds. I doubt I will ever take 6 seconds, but I'll leave it there. And it's going to take about 5 exposures for each. It's going to take 5 images for each exposure time, okay? And let's see, create an entirely new dark library. Let's give it some notes. And I'm going to call that QHY Mini with the QHY 5M 2 camera. Let's see, 5M. Nope, I want capital M. And I'm going to do II. There we go. And let's start. And I've covered my guide scope. And now all we have to do is say OK, and it will start running. Now this will take a few minutes for it to run, and it's going to take a picture at each exposure, and we will be right back. And voila, there we go. My dark library has been completed. And if I was outside under dark skies right now, I could uncover my guide scope and get started. But alas, it is in the middle of the afternoon, and I don't have any clear skies in sight. But this is as far as I can take this guide scope until I am under a night sky. But it's really easy to install a driver and to get your profile all set up in PHD2. So next time when I get a clear night out, I will continue showing you how to finish setting things up and calibrating. So this week we installed our new guide scope, which was the QHY Mini with their mini camera on the end. All it needed was a USB 2 cable that is plugged into my mini PC here. And this is just a temporary plug because I like to run everything through the computer first before I start hooking it up to extra peripherals, just to make sure things run. But we now have the drivers all installed. We have created our profile in PHD2, and let's see, we've created our dark library. All I need now is a clear sky. Hopefully they'll show up really soon. I mean, I don't have any rain in my forecast, but I still have clouds. And I'll tell you what, it's already 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It is smoking hot. Well, guys, thank you so much for following me along with this journey. We are getting closer, just one step at a time, because I want to share every bit in piece with you so you can see how this is all put together, and you too can build a RASA telescope buildup. And really, this concept applies to all telescopes. You're still going to need guide scopes. You're still going to need either a laptop or a mini PC. It's really not that hard. You've just got to take one step at a time, but I know you can do it. All right, so guys, I'm Amy Astro. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with all your Astro friends. Consider following me over there on Patreon, where I give you a little bit more information. There is a small fee for that, but that fee is what helps me continue this channel. You know, because all these little Tinker toys, they cost a little bit of money. They're not all given to me. In fact, most of them I buy myself. But, you know, that's me putting my money where my mouth is. So I don't like to buy junk. I like to buy quality. So pretty much if I'm using it, I've done a lot of research on it. I've had a lot of friends tell me what's worked for them, what has not worked for them. So it's a pretty good go by. You know, what I use is, well, there's no better endorsement than that. Because if I don't like it, I don't continue using it. I can promise you that. So if you see all this in future videos, you know it's got to be top notch, okay? Well, let's wrap this up. Stay tuned for some Astro pets. They are really cute. Promise you guys that. But I am wishing you guys some great health, clear skies, and I love each and every one of y'all. Goodbye, y'all.
I'm feeling on top of the world, like nothing's ever gonna bring me down. This feeling got me flying high as a bird. I may never touch the ground. It may not be my birthday, but I just wanna celebrate. I just wanna celebrate, 'cause it's a good day, good life. I just wanna celebrate all night. There's magic coursing throughout my veins. I don't want it to stop. I feel invincible in every way. I'ma give it all I got. It may not be my birthday, but I just wanna celebrate.